So welcome, one and all. Today we're speaking about what we use to speak, language, words. Words have tremendous energy. They really and completely and totally represent who we are in every aspect of our lives, whether it's in opening up a conversation with someone, whether it's enjoying something and we're expressing how we enjoy it, or whether it's with food. So when I give workshops, most of my workshops that I really and truly enjoy are the ones where I teach eating as a sacred art. And the most important thing that I believe that I have to offer during these workshops is that our language around food is critical, because not only does our language betray us and therefore betray our relationship with food, but our language also creates an incredibly strong biological reaction within our bodies. So I often hear, for example, people saying, I'm going to go grab lunch. Grab lunch? Grabbing is quite violent. Why would you grab lunch? No wonder we grab diseases. No wonder we grab indigestion. That's what we're really grabbing. No wonder we feel malaise and depressed and exhausted and tired all the time. Food cannot be grabbed. Food is sacred. It's as sacred as the rest of the earth, which we pillage and we spoil and we use and we destroy for our own satisfaction. Then we're never satisfied anyway. Same thing with food. We're never satisfied with what we're eating or what we eat unless we do so mindfully. And we actually eat our thoughts. We eat our language. We eat ourselves into sickness or health or wellness or disease, depending on the language we use around food. So this is not the only time that I will be doing this kind of presentation. This is just the first, an introduction to a series of presentation I shall be doing around language and food. Most people are not aware, which surprises me a lot, of the connection between our food and our mood. Strong connection. The foods that we eat affect our mood. Our mood also affects whatever food we eat. For example, this, I think we all agree, we call this a papaya. And in some countries it's bigger, some countries it's smaller. You can pick it directly from the tree, which is ideal, of course, but most of us cannot do that. And those who can will see this food differently, will see this papaya differently. Those who grow it and pick it and have it in their backyard relate to this papaya totally differently from those of us who go and purchase it. And we are totally cut off from the people who actually grow it for us. We're cut off from the land itself in which it is grown. And so we will have a total different languaging around this papaya. And therefore we will eat this papaya differently than somebody who has that intimate knowledge of this papaya and an intimate connection relationship with papaya, because everything is about whether we're deeply connected at the root to something or whether we're disconnected. And our language, it shows up in our disconnection or connection. So when I hold up the papaya, certain imagery, certain memories come up for you if you've ever eaten one. Now, if you've never eaten a papaya, this means nothing to you, nothing whatsoever. So you have no response to it. You have no linguistic response, nor do you have any kind of biological response. But if you're used to kiwi and you're used to eating kiwi and you love kiwi, you will have a totally different reaction. And so will the language that you use around kiwi. The language we use totally and completely tells us how we feel, how we respond to this food, how our digestion responds and our mood responds to this food. If I hold up a lemon, you have a visceral reaction to a lemon, depending on your own experiences with the lemons. Same for a coconut. If I hold up a coconut, depending on your history with coconuts, you will have a specific response. And your language around the coconut will be totally and completely giving away your own experiences around coconuts. So we need to be very aware of our language around food, and that it really shows our history around that food, like the first time we were introduced to it, who introduced it to us, under what conditions we were being introduced to it. For example, if you the first time you ate kiwi, you were being yelled at or shouted at, you're going to have a whole different experience around kiwi, and your language will reflect that experience. If the first time you tasted a lemon and somebody said something derogatory about the lemon, and you decided that just for peace, the sake of peace and not arguing, you will agree with them, you'll have a total different languaging around lemons and a visceral response. Same thing with a papaya or a pineapple or any other fruit. You will always have a response that reflects your own history around it, and therefore the language that you choose around it will reflect it. The first time that you tried or tasted a coconut and your whole experiences around coconut, whether you were with family that you loved, whether you were depressed at the time and you perked up when you tried the coconut for the first time, your language around it will totally reflect that experience. And therefore, the language you use around coconut will determine whether you ever have another coconut again or not. So, yes, our language around food does and totally and completely reflect our own history and our feelings, our deeper food feelings and our mood. That food either uplifts us or pulls us down. That food either nourishes us or sickens us. That food is something, the kind of food and the kind of food and the type of food, that food is something that we need or we don't need. There are sun gazers and they do not eat and they get their energy from the sun. Mainly the ones that I have known were in India. But you ought to look that up. People think we must have food. We need food. No, we really don't. We need air. Must have air as human beings. We need water. And I believe we need love. Those are the three things we need. Food is something we can bring in afterwards. Because the fact that we have sun gazers who do not eat and get all their energy from food, because that's all food is. It's just energy that we are taking into this energetic capsule that we inhabit, and we're replenishing it because everything in life needs to be replenished. So please join me for my webinars here on YouTube, wherever. We have a whole panel that we call Creating Resilience panel. We have a Facebook group called Creating Resilience Collaborative Group. Please join us there. And on here on my new YouTube channel, where I will be speaking in greater detail about how food creates certain moods within us, and how even the thought about the food will enhance our mood or deplete our mood or diminish our mood. And why language around food is critical, and why I say that we eat our words, we eat our thoughts. So please join me. And if you like the stream that I am going on here, if you like this thought patterns that I am releasing here, if this is something you wish to explore further, please click the subscribe button and click the like button so I know to go this route further with you. Thank you. And until the next time, be mindful, be present.